Once, in a remote village nestled deep within a dense forest, where bitter cold winters reigned, there lived a tribe tormented by relentless hunger and a desperate fight for survival. The chilling wind pierced their bones, and the stomachs of both young and old growled with emptiness. It was during these harshest of times that the Wendigo, a malevolent creature, began its menacing presence amongst them. The Wendigo was initially perceived as a mere symbol of the insatiable hunger that gnawed at the villagers, a physical embodiment of their desperate desire for sustenance. As winter storms raged, the creature's legend grew, weaving terrifying stories of its powers and capabilities. The legend spoke of a once human being consumed by their own greed, venturing deep into the wilderness in search of men, driven by the hunger that consumed their soul. In their darkest hour, they resorted to cannibalism, feeding on the flesh of their fellow tribesmen to satiate their voracious appetite. This dark act transformed them into the Wendigo, a monstrous being driven by eternal hunger, cursed to roam the forest in search of prey. As the villagers faced scarcity, whispers of the mythical Wendigo traveled through the chilling wind. Its howls echoed through the trees, sending shivers down their spines. They were warned never to give in to their own ravenous cravings, for fear of suffering a similar fate. The Wendigo became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers and the excesses of human behavior. Yet, as the winters grew colder and the hunger grew fiercer, desperation overwhelmed reason. The relentless gnawing in their bellies pushed the villagers to the edge, leading to a deadly decision. They chose to ignore the warnings, to embrace their long-suppressed desires, and indulge in forbidden feasts. The fateful night arrived when the village devolved into a frenzy of frenzied hunger. It became a grotesque spectacle as villagers, possessed by their insatiable cravings, turned on each other, tearing flesh from bone. Blood stained the snow, and maniacal laughter filled the frigid air. Amidst this frenetic feast, the anguished cries of those who understood the true horror of their actions went unheard. Their pleas for mercy drowned in the cacophony of greed and madness. In that moment, the Wendigo emerged from the shadows, lured by the scent of rotting morality and tainted souls, with eyes glowing like demonic lanterns. The Wendigo descended upon the ravenous crowd. Its elongated limbs and jagged claws tore through the air, leaving trails of despair in its wake. It indiscriminately devoured those who had succumbed to their darkest desires, collecting the souls of the gluttonous and wicked. As the Wendigo feasted, the wind carried their painful wails, reaching the ears of those who still retained remnants of their humanity. They watched in terror as their once vibrant village was reduced to naught but a graveyard, where the Wendigo held court as an unholy king. Since that dreadful night, the legend of the Wendigo has extended far beyond the boundaries of that forsaken village. In the wake of its gruesome feast, the Wendigo departed the decimated village, its insatiable hunger insatiated. Driven by a malicious hunger that transcended physical sustenance, it sought out new prey, crossing the vast wilderness to find another unsuspecting village. Word spread like of the Wendigo's malevolent presence, an omen of dread that foretold the imminent arrival of an unholy curse. Fear swept through the neighboring villages, and whispers carried tales of the monstrosity's insidious ability to infect others with its insatiable hunger. In the midst of the village's growing anxiety, a chilling winter descended upon the land, cloaking everything in a frosty shroud. It was during this time that a small, isolated village caught the attention of the Wendigo, its inhabitants, oblivious to the terror approaching their doorsteps, continued with their daily lives, unaware of the doom that awaited them. As the Wendigo stalked through the silent forest surrounding the village, The frigid wind carried its presence to the astute villagers. Whispers of the beast's arrival echoed through the frost-kissed trees, instilling an icy fear within their hearts. The village elders, versed in the ancient tales, recognized the signs and called upon their warriors to prepare for an impending battle against the abomination. They warned the villagers against giving in to their most primal desires, urging them to resist the seductive call of gluttony before it was too late. However, the Wendigo's insidious allure proved too strong for some. As whispers escalated to panic, a few individuals succumbed to their darkest inclinations. Heedless of the warnings, they indulged themselves, consumed by their ravenous cravings, shattering the village's unity. With each soul it claimed, the Wendigo grew more powerful, its insatiable hunger intensifying like a treacherous blizzard. The corrupted ones became mindless servants, transformed into cannibalistic beings themselves, and spread the Wendigo's curse like a contagious disease. The once thriving village plunged into chaos, torn apart by an internal struggle for survival. The infected attacked one another, driven by an insatiable, unquenchable hunger that eclipsed any remnants of their humanity. The villagers who had fought against their desires rallied together, their courage and unity their only defense against the darkness that had consumed their brethren. A fierce battle ensued as the villagers mobilized to fend off the infected and put an end to the spreading curse. Blood spilled on the snow-covered ground, tainted by the madness that had gripped their once humble abode. Yet, in the face of immeasurable horror, the villagers' desire for salvation fueled their defiance. Driven to the brink of annihilation, the remaining villagers who managed to resist the curse were forced into exile, taking refuge in the surrounding wilderness. They watched from afar as their former home descended into a nightmarish realm, ruled by the ravenous Wendigo and its infected minions. For many long years, the cursed village lay abandoned, shrouded in fear and despair. The Wendigo, having successfully spread its disease, retreated into the heart of the forest, biding its time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. Whispers of the village's dark fate reached neighboring settlements, leaving them wary of the Wendigo's presence. People would speak in hushed tones of the cursed village's eerie silence and the evil that lurked. Within, mothers warned their children to stay away, fearful of the Wendigo's grasp. Meanwhile, the exiled survivors, with their spirits battered but not broken, lived in constant vigilance. They trained themselves in the ancient arts of warding off evil, honing their skills and knowledge for the day they would confront the Wendigo once more. Years turned into decades, and rumors of the cursed village diminished. But the forest that served as the Wendigo's waiting ground remained haunted by its malevolent presence. It became a place feared by all, whispers of the monster roaming its depths ensuring that no one ventured near. Then, one fateful night, the signs aligned, and the villagers sensed an ominous shift in the atmosphere. A bone-chilling wind cut through the forest, carrying with it the echoes of the Wendigo's howls. It was the moment they had been preparing for. With trepidation in their hearts, the survivors journeyed back to the cursed village, their resolve hardened by years of exile and an unwavering determination to rid their land of this unholy curse. Armed with ancient artifacts and their accumulated knowledge, they ventured into the heart of darkness. A climactic battle erupted, with its exiled warriors confronting the Wendigo and its infected minions. The struggle between light and darkness intensified, the forest bearing witness to their fierce clash. Each blow struck was a testament to their resilience and an embodiment of their ethereal strength. In the end, it was not physical prowess alone that led to victory. It was the indomitable spirit of the villagers, their refusal to succumb to the Wendigo's curse. That proved to be the ultimate weapon. They fought with an unyielding determination, knowing that their very survival and the fate of their land hung in the balance. Through their combined efforts and the power of their will, the Wendigo was eventually vanquished. The curse that had plagued the village for so long dissipated, releasing the infected from their tormented existence. With the defeat of the Wendigo, the cursed village was finally freed from its haunting grip. Its people, scarred and broken, vowed to rebuild their lives and their community. They learned from the chilling lessons of their past, forever mindful of the dangers of excess and insatiable hunger. The legend of the Wendigo persisted but was transformed into a cautionary tale, a reminder that the darkest aspects of human behavior can consume even the strongest of communities. The villagers would never forget the horrors,